Greetings. I am the Lady Galadriel of Lorien. I am here in your corner of Middle-earth for the human festival of All Hallows. To mark the occasion, I will be reading from your Middle-earth or human poet, Edgar Allan of Poe. The poems are as follows. To Ulalume, a ballad, and a poem you humans seem to love very much, The Raven. It is my very wish that you would subscribe to this portal and return via notification, for if you do not, I fear that Lauren, when she takes this channel back, will blame me for its failure. I do not want to come to blows with a woman like that. Now, join me. Brighton, in Galadriel. And now, the narrative begins. Ulalume by Edgar Allan of Poe. The skies, they were ashen and sober. The leaves, they were crisped and sere. The leaves, they were withering and sere. And it was night in the lonesome October of my most immemorial year. It was hard by the dim lake of Ober, in the misty mid-region of Weir. It was down by the dank torn of Ober, in the ghoul-haunted woodland of Weir. Here once, through an alley titanic, of Cyprus I roamed with my soul. Of Cyprus with Psyche, my soul. These were days when my heart was volcanic, as the Sauriac rivers that roll, as the lavas that restlessly roll. Their sulphurous currents were Yanic, in the ultimate climes of the pole, that groan as they roll down Mount Yanic, in the realms of the boreal pole. Our talk had been serious and sober, but our thoughts, they were palsied and sere. Our memories were treacherous and sere. For we knew not the month was October, and we marked not the night of the year. Ah, the night of all nights of the year! We noted not the dim lake of Ober, though we once had journeyed down there. Remembered not the dank torn of Ober, nor the ghoul-haunted woodland of Weir. And now, as the night was senescent, and star-dials pointed to morn, as the star-dials hinted of morn, at the end of our path, a liquescent and nebulous lustre was born, out of which a miraculous crescent arose with a duplicate horn. Astarte's bediamonded crescent, distinct with its duplicate horn. And I said, she is warmer than Diane. She rolls with ether of sighs. She revels in a region of sighs. She has seen that the tears are not dry on these cheeks, where the worm never dies, and has come past the stars of the lion to point us the path to the skies, to point to the Lythian's peace of the skies, come up in despite of the lion, to shine on us with her bright eyes, come up through the lair of the lion with love in her luminous eyes. But Psyche, uplifting her finger, said, sadly, this star I mistrust. Her pallor I strangely mistrust. Ah, hasten! Ah, let us not linger! Ah, fly, let us fly, for we must. In terror she spoke, letting sink her wings until they trailed in the dust, with agony sobbed, letting sink her plumes till they trailed in the dust, till they sorrowfully trailed in the dust. I replied, this is nothing but dreaming. Let us on by this tremulous light. Let us bathe in this crystalline light. Its syllabic splendor is beaming with hope and beauty tonight. See, It flickers up in the sky through the night. Ah, we safely may trust to its gleaming, and be sure it will lead us aright. We safely may trust to its gleaming, that cannot but guide us aright, since it flickers up to heaven through the night. Thus I pacified Psyche and kissed her and tempted her out of her gloom, and conquered her scruples and gloom, and we passed to the end of the vista, but were stopped by the door of a tomb, by the door of a legended tomb. And I said, "What is written, sweet sister, on the door of this legended tomb?" She replied, "Ulalume, Ulalume. 'Tis the vault of thy lost Ulalume." Then my heart it grew ashen and sober, and the leaves they were crisped and sere, and the leaves they were withering and sere. And I cried, it was surely October, on this very night of last year, that I journeyed down here, that I brought a dread burden down here, on this night of all nights in the year. Ah, what demon hath tempted me here? Well, I know now, this dim lake of Ober, this misty mid-region of Weir. Well, I know now, this dank tarn of Ober, this ghoul-haunted woodland of Weir. The Raven. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over a many quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as someone gently rapping at my door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door, "only this and nothing more." Ah, distinctly I remember it was in the bleak of Octember, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore, nameless, here forevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my door, some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door." This is it, and nothing more. Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," I said, "or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is, I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I open wide the door. Darkness there, and nothing more. Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was broken, and the stillness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word, Lenore. This I whispered, and the echo murmured back the word, Lenore. Merely this, and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning. Soon again I heard a tapping somewhere louder than before. Surely, I said, surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see then what thereat it is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind and nothing more. Open here I flung the shutter, when with a flirt and a flutter, In his stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but within mine, of lord or lady, perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, perched and sat and nothing more. Then this ebony bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave of a stern decorum of the countenance it wore. Though thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou, I said, art sure no craven? Ghastly grim and ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore, tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Much I marvelled this ungainly fowl to hear such discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above her chamber door, bird or beast upon the sculptured bust above her chamber door, with such a name as Nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely in the placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing further than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, other friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before. Then the bird said, nevermore. Startled at the stillness broken by reply so aptly spoken, doubtless, I said, what it utters is only stock and store, caught from some unhappy master, whose unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster, till his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope that melancholy burden bore, of nevermore. But the raven still beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of bird and bust and door. Then, upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking, fancy unto fancy thinking, what this ominous bird of yore, what this grim, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore meant of croaking nevermore. This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing, to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and nothing more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining on the cushion's velvet lining that, with the lamplight gloating o'er, she shall press, nevermore. Then, methought, the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer, swung by a seraphim, whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. Wretched, I cried, thy God hath lent thee, these angels he hath sent thee, respite, and nepenthe, from thy memories of Lenore. Quaff, oh quaff this kind nepenthe, and forgot this lost Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, I said, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, whether tempter sent, or whether tempest tossed thee here ashore, desolate yet all undaunted, on this desert island enchanted, on this home by horror haunted, tell me truly, I implore, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me, I implore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, I said, thing of evil, prophet still, if bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore, tell this soul with sorrow laden, if within the distant Aidenn It shall clasp a sainted maiden, whom the angels name Lenore. Clasp a rare and radiant maiden, who the angels name Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore. Be that word or sign in parting, bird or friend, I shrieked upstarting. Get thee back into the tempest and the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie thy soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quit the bust above my door. Take thy beak from out my heart, and take thy form from off my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting, on the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door. And his eyes have all the seeming of a demon's, that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him streaming throws his shadow on the floor. And my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore. It is my hope that you enjoyed these small tales from Edgar Allan Poe. Please be sure to return to this portal via subscription and notification bell icon. Also, Lauren wishes me to tell you all, Happy Halloween! Now, I am off to a tavern for the rest of the eve.